There are times in life when everything seems to be spiraling out of control. Losing a job, a relationship breakdown, or just the chaotic rhythm of the daily routine can make us feel helpless and overwhelmed. But what if someone told you that there is a way to not just survive these challenges, but to thrive in the midst of them? Today we're going to delve into the wisdom of the ancient philosopher Seneca and his teachings on Stoicism, which helps keep peace in a troubled world. These are not just philosophical musings, but practical strategies that have inspired leaders, thinkers, and ordinary people throughout the ages. The concepts of Stoicism can energize us today, helping us to develop psychological resilience and regain control of our emotions and reactions despite life's challenges. Travel with us to learn how to apply these ancient secrets to modern life for a calmer and more centered existence. If you appreciate what we do here and would like to support our channel, we would appreciate your subscription. It helps us continue to bring you quality content. Don't miss a single part of the video, because if you're here, you're exceptional. You see the value of a deep dive into a topic, and in that you are unique. One of the most important lessons Seneca's wisdom teaches us is to be everywhere, is to be nowhere. It's a principle often overlooked in our quest to multitask and increase productivity. The idea of focusing on one task at a time is not only aimed at increasing efficiency, but also at developing deep thinking. When we aim for depth rather than breadth, we can fully immerse ourselves in the task in front of us, whether it's a professional assignment, a personal project, or a deep conversation. This deep activity contributes to a greater sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Moreover, the psychological benefits of focusing on one task at a time are enormous. It reduces the cognitive load on our brains, lowering our stress levels and enhancing our decision-making capabilities. The quality of our work and life improves dramatically when we are fully immersed in one thing at a time. Adopting this Stoic principle not only increases our productivity, it also makes us more aware, peaceful, and balanced people. It's a rejection of the chaos of modern multitasking and a shift to a more conscious and purposeful way of living. Seneca's insight, all the greatest suffering is the result of an undirected mind, reveals a profound truth about human nature. When faced with challenges, Stoicism teaches us not to suppress our emotions, but to understand and manage them. This disciplined approach to managing emotions begins with self-awareness. By becoming aware of our impulses and triggers, we are better prepared to deal with them rationally. Seneca's principle of mental preparation for inevitable trials is the cornerstone of Stoic resilience. Stoicism teaches us to anticipate and prepare for the worst, not to instill fear in us, but to reduce shock and pain in moments of difficulty. This Stoic practice, known as intentional evil, helps us train our minds to deal with stress and adversity with greater self-control. It helps us to appreciate our current situation by realizing that things could be worse. Applying this Stoicism does not mean constantly worrying about what could go wrong. Rather, it is realistically recognizing potential negative consequences and being prepared for them. For example, if you are worried about job security, you can start preparing by updating your CV or upgrading your skills. Moreover, this principle applies not only to personal crises, but also to significant changes in our lives. By staying prepared, we not only protect ourselves from the initial shock, but also speed up recovery and adaptation periods. We become less reactive and more responsive, a subtle but powerful shift in our approach to life's uncertainties. It's worth paying attention to the Seneca principles that help shape our thinking. They do not simply assume that we will deal with adversity, but rather that we are prepared for it. This involves not just expecting the worst, but being prepared to deal with any situation, which increases our resilience and overall mental toughness. The Stoic prism allows us to see not only loss and hardship, but also opportunities for growth and renewal in every challenge. Seneca's profound insight is that hardship strengthens the mind as exercise strengthens the body. This is the basis of Stoicism and involves the voluntary acceptance of hardship, not as punishment, but as a way to strengthen our mental toughness and expand our ability to cope with life's challenges. Voluntarily accepting hardship is like training an athlete in harsh conditions to prepare for competition. Similarly, deciding to face difficulties head-on helps us increase our mental resilience and adaptability. When we intentionally step out of our comfort zone, we don't just test our limits, we expand them. Being regularly exposed to situations that require overcoming our fears can turn our fear into a skill over time. This Stoic practice is not about seeking suffering, but recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. Voluntarily accepting hardship also means resetting our comfort thresholds. In a world that often favors comfort and ease, choosing the harder path may seem radical, but Stoicism invites us to rethink what true comfort is. It is the absence of discomfort, or the presence of inner strength and peace, that comes from knowing that we can handle anything that comes our way. By integrating this Stoic principle into our lives, we also learn to better appreciate our current circumstances. When we know we can tolerate less, we can enjoy the simple joys of life with greater satisfaction. It's about building a life not on avoiding hardship, but on resilience. It's not about seeking suffering, but recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. By voluntarily overcoming difficulties, we also cultivate a deep sense of self-efficacy. Every challenge we face and overcome is a reminder that we are stronger than we ever imagined. Thus, let's use Seneca's example and enter the arena of voluntary hardship. It is there that we will find the keys to a more sustainable and fulfilling life. Seneca wisely observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This statement is a stark reminder that our interpretation of events, not the events themselves, is often what causes us the most suffering. It can be easy to get sucked into the idea that we are passive victims of our circumstances, lacking control over our own destiny. But Stoicism has taught us the importance of our perception. How we choose to interpret and see life's problems significantly affects our attitude toward them. When we see ourselves as willless victims, we surrender our fate to fate. But if we view problems as opportunities for growth and self-improvement, we retain control over our own reactions and outlook on life. Consider a typical scenario: you didn't get promoted at work, and your first thought is one of resentment and injustice. But Stoicism teaches us to reconsider our reactions. Could it be that we're focusing too much on the loss and damage? What if there's a chance to learn something new, improve our skills, or rethink our career path to achieve bigger goals? Avoiding self-sacrifice doesn't mean ignoring problems, but shifting the focus from what happens to us to how we respond to it. It's a powerful shift from passively accepting fate to actively participating in creating our lives. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking ourselves, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this situation?" Stoicism gives us the tools to detach from our initial emotional reactions and view the situation in a broader context. It is the realization that while we can't always control external circumstances, we can always control our thoughts and reactions. This psychological shift frees us and empowers us, making us more prepared to face future challenges. Moreover, by adhering to this Stoic principle, we become better partners in relationships. By refusing to see ourselves as victims, we foster healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding rather than blame and resentment. We become more compassionate, realizing that each of us is responsible for our own destiny. Adopting the Stoic way allows us to free ourselves from self-punishment and take responsibility for our own lives, recognizing that we are the builders of our own reality. This empowerment is the foundation of Stoicism and the key to living an active and purposeful life. So, let's take the challenge to rethink how we approach problems, not denying our feelings, but viewing our stories with strength, wisdom, and resilience. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, the noise of everyday life can drown out our inner voice and prevent us from reflecting on our personal growth and values. Stoicism teaches us that true solitude is a state of rich self-awareness, not just a physical state of loneliness. It is hard to overstate the importance of time spent alone. Philosophers have been attesting to its benefits for centuries. Marcus Aurelius, one of the preeminent Stoics, devoted much attention to introspection in his writings. He argued that understanding oneself is the key to a noble and purposeful life. In his own words, where else can one find a calmer and more restless refuge than in one's own soul? This emphasizes that solitude provides a haven where we can escape external anxieties and focus on our inner development. Practicing solitude also gives us the opportunity to explore our thoughts and emotions without external distractions. It gives us space to process our experiences and align our actions with our values. Regular immersion in these experiences helps us to better understand who we are and what we really want out of life, which is essential for true fulfillment and the attainment of meaning. Aristotle also emphasized the importance of self-reflection in achieving eudaimonia, or happiness. He believed that self-knowledge was necessary for the development of virtues and a coherent life. In solitude, we can take stock of our lives and make changes that reflect our true values and aspirations. Practicing solitude according to Stoicism also helps us develop resilience. When we are alone, we are forced to face our own thoughts and emotions without the support of others. This helps us develop inner strength and coping skills. Epictetus' approach seems unusual at first glance to use solitude to strengthen character and mind. He argued that it is in our power to withdraw into ourselves at any moment, and this promotes our inner peace. But how does this work in practice? After all, how can solitude help us become more prepared for life's challenges? Being alone gives us the opportunity to delve more deeply into our thoughts and emotions, which helps us to better understand ourselves and the world around us. We can come back from this journey more aware and perhaps more ready to act in social environments. It is as if our capacity for empathy, patience, and clarity is renewed after such periods of inner journeying. The Stoic practice of solitude is not about isolation. Rather, it is a way of deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, which makes our lives more meaningful and fulfilling. It is as if we are rediscovering ourselves to the world, enriching our relationships and our contribution to the community. In this way, the teachings of Stoicism are not just speculative concepts from ancient texts. They offer us practical strategies to apply to our daily lives, helping us to become more mindful, resilient, and purposeful in our journey. Stoicism offers us far more than a set of rules of behavior. It calls us to a meaningful life that values focus, the power of self-control, and a willingness to be challenged. It is important to remember that Stoicism does not promise a serene life. Rather, it gives us the tools to better cope with life's challenges. These principles challenge us to look inside ourselves and work on our character so that we can embrace life with openness and confidence. Rather than seeing every obstacle as merely a problem, Stoicism encourages us to see them as opportunities to exercise virtue and test our resilience. By applying these Stoic principles, we don't just survive, we flourish, finding fulfillment within ourselves and in the world around us. Let's continue in the spirit of Stoicism and explore how we can apply these ancient wisdoms to the modern challenges of life. Let's strive to be better than we were yesterday and live with intention and virtue. If you're ready to dive deeper into this world, take it to the next step. Check out the videos right now. They are designed to help you apply Stoicism to your daily life. Thank you for your time here at Stoic Advice. We appreciate your curiosity and desire to grow. Remember, the path to wisdom is hard and long, but each step you take brings you closer to a more meaningful life. So go forward boldly,